No, I feel much better. Obviously, last week was a difficult week with the travel and add in the heat in New York. That was an extra component that was on top of it. It was more of a safety precaution than anything. We just felt that it wasn't necessary to push it if there was going to be a potential for risk of injury. So it was kind of a mutual decision between the coach, me, and the training staff to say let's not risk anything. So, but no, I feel much better this week. I feel back to my full self. So there's no concern for the weekend. And if in terms of your question, if we're talking about Toronto, yes, it's a club that obviously, with the players they have on paper, you wouldn't expect the record they have right now. So we're not fooled by that by any means. We're not looking at this as an easy game. I think it's in fact on the contrary. I think on a team like Toronto, who has only 2 wins this year, they're hunting to come and play against us, and I think for sure they can smell blood, trying to come against a team that they expect that they would do better than us with the experience that they have. But I think that we're very confident. We had a rough let's say last 2 games, let's say 4 days with the days in between the games in Montreal and with New York. But we have a lot of character in this team. So, we looked at everything and understood it was a difficult moment to tie against Montreal and lose to New York, and we recuperated, and now we're back. So I think the team is fresh and ready to go.
We'll go to Jason Anderson.
Hi, Brendan. Thanks for speaking with us today. I'm curious your thoughts. The team playing out of the back, especially at home, trying to make sure that you're controlling the games, not just with pressure, but also with the ball. How do you think the team is doing at that aspect of things so far, especially looking at a TFC team who used to be known for that and is now maybe transitioning towards a different style?
Well, that's kind of 2 parts. I think the first part is that if we talk about our possession and the way we play out of the back, I think that at home we've been much better, and I think a really key factor was how much possession we had against Miami. That was when we played them home last Saturday or Sunday. That was one of our best possessing games we've had all year, which was really nice to see that we had the confidence to play. We had a lot of confidence coming from back-to-back games against them, where we had also played really well in Miami with the ball. I would say against Montreal and against New York, we weren't as comfortable, especially against New York, who presses a lot. So we have been working on that in terms of being a little bit more comfortable on the ball when you have a team that presses high. It's much easier when you have a team that sits, like Miami did against us when we were here at Audi Field. So looking at Toronto, yes, they are a ball-playing club in terms of, again, the people they have on paper. They have a lot of good technical players. But they have changed their system a little bit this year to be much more of a pressing team. So we have to be expecting that even though they're now coming to us, that they'll be pressing against us, and we have to be able to play out of those moments. I feel we're just a little bit too anxious, when we have a high pressure moment from another team, and I think we can be a lot more cool, calm, and collected instead of feeling the pressure and feeling like we need to just immediately get rid of the ball, recognizing situations and recognizing where the space is. So a lot of video has been watched by us in that regard. So we have been looking at that for sure.
We'll go to Dave Johnson.
And thanks for your time today. Donovan Hines is going to be part of the U.S. national team with the Gold Cup.
Yes.
Obviously, he's been recognized by the head coach, but you've been playing next to him. What have you noticed that says, you know what, he's really growing?
Well, you take a guy who's extremely athletic to begin with. That always helps me and the rest of the back line to begin with. I know that in a moment where it's a 1v1 against him and he has to be able to catch up to the guy, I have no concern. As long as he's not cramping, he's fine. So no, he's grown a lot, and he's a guy who wants to learn, which is important. You have a lot of young guys today who kind of think they know everything. Sort of like how I was. I was in that same regime that thought, I know everything at a very young age, and he's not like that. He never has been. He's very adamant on learning as much as he can from all the players, from all ages. And I've had a really good relationship with him in terms of being able to help him with all regards of his game. But just to begin with, his base as a player himself is already very high. So I'm super happy for him, and I told him that, just focus on this game first for the weekend, and then you can be full focus for the national team. But no, it's a great opportunity and a great recognition for him. So I'm super proud for him.
We'll go back to Dave.
And as you mentioned, Toronto is a new system. They're trying to play, and it's an example of when you change things, that there can be some growing pains. And obviously, no doubt you guys have experienced growing pains. But do you feel like you're ahead of schedule in terms of your progress adjusting? And if so, why?
We are for sure. And I think even if, again, I've said this a few times, if the results don't always directly indicate, where we should be, which normally in this line of business, it's all about results, which is normal. But there's been a few times, if not most of the time, where the games we've lost or the games we tied that we should have won or felt like we should have gotten a result out of, we felt a real sense of anger and disappointment after the game. You fast forward 12 hours or 24 hours, you go back, you watch the game, and you realize, you look at the statistics, you look at the way we played, and you say, there's so many positives here. The way we play, the way we press, the way we defend. It's just small lapses of concentration. I think I've spoken about this a few times. That's just the difference between the really good teams and the good teams. And we are definitely a good team. And I think when you speak with other assistant coaches and other GMs and other players from other organizations, that's the first thing they say is, wow, DC there's something to be reckoned with, or not to reckon with, we can say. And so that's a positive sign for us as an organization, that we know we're on the right track when teams are fearing to play against us, knowing that we're a difficult game for sure. Maturity is going to come, and as that comes, and learning how to deal with games, learning how to handle games, learning that when you're up 1-0 against New York City, you have to change the way you think about the game. You can't be only focusing on scoring and getting forward. You have to realize we are in a very good position. Let's not give away opportunities. 26 shots that we had against Montreal. With time, you look at those types of games. We have that type of game again, we'll win that game for sure. So looking at those types of things, I'm super positive, and my outlook is very positive going forward. So I would be totally different if I felt that in the games that we're getting outplayed, and that's just not the case. So I have full confidence in the team, and I think the coaching staff does as well. There's no sense of lack of confidence. So it's all positives all around.